Hi everyone! In a recent video I talked a little bit about my husband and his story and how he got into eating vegan, and I had quite a few questions come in from different viewers wanting to know more about his story, and some people even wanted to know if he had his own YouTube channel talking about his lifestyle. And he's really camera shy and didn't want to be on video, but I really wanted to interview him. So he's here with me today. Say hi.
Reluctantly. Hello.
However, he's definitely interested in sharing his story and how he used to be
A fat guy.
and how he helped cure his gallbladder and how he changed his diet. And so he's here with me today. I am making his salads that he eats every day. And just to give you a quick view of what I do every Thursday, I make his salads. It used to be we used to make about 13 salads. Now we've pared it down to about 7, so he has one salad a day, one large salad. And it contains romaine lettuce, celery, cucumbers, some steamed broccoli, fresh tomatoes, and at the time that I mix it all together, I'll throw in some tangerines and some beets. So I'm here making salads today, and I'm going to interview him. So, hi honey.
I'm here.
Thanks for chiming in today and sharing with the viewers your story.
If they could see my twisted arm.
I'm sorry, but thank you for sharing. Okay, so tell everyone just a little bit about your diet, what it was like when you were growing up. Give us a bird's eye view of what you used to eat as a child.
That was awful. We didn't have much money. When there was no food, which is more than half the time, we would take white bread, spread butter on it, and put sugar on it. We used to call it sugar bread. If there was no butter, we'd put mustard.
Ooh.
It was pretty bad.
And what else did you guys used to eat? You used to have regular meals every
week.
Every week. It was
every week
the same
it was
thing.
a hot dog on a bun. Was those beans that came out of a can, Campbell's beans, and we would have pea soup and cornbread one night. We'd have spaghetti with sauce another night.
So
everything was
no vegetables, no salads, no fruit.
I didn't know what vegetables were until I met you.
Okay, let's talk about that, because when I met you, we would go out to dinner all the time, and we ate really rich foods, and we were eating unhealthy. So give everyone an idea of what the kind of foods that you really enjoyed, like your favorite foods that you would just go nuts over, crazy over.
Steak, baked potato with more butter and sour cream than you could fit in your pocket. Well, I used to go to a restaurant, and for dessert, I'd get whatever cake or sweet was available. And if I could see it through the whipped cream, there wasn't enough whipped cream on it.
Yeah, and I remember I have pictures of your sister giving you
At
for
Christmas
a cooler full of canned
Ready
whipped
whip.
cream.
Yeah, ready whip.
And the look on your face of pure joy getting this can of whipped cream, big thing of whipped cream. Okay, so also I wanted you to share a little bit about your coffee addiction.
Wow.
So a lot of people are addicted to coffee, and they have a really hard time giving it up.
Yeah, well, I used to have coffee left over in the evening, and I would save it for the morning. So I would have coffee to drink while I was waiting for a fresh pot of coffee to brew.
And you would drink about a pot a day, pot of coffee a day.
At least a pot, maybe more, and then go to decaf after 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would head out to go to a business meeting, I'd strategize. I had my whole plan laid out where I'm going and when I'll get there based on where the local Starbucks was. And then when I left that meeting to go to the next one, where's the Starbucks there? I'd map it out.
And so how hard was it for you to give coffee up?
I actually, at one point, just simply decided that I'd had enough. It was kind of a irritant after a while.
You were having acid reflux pretty bad.
I took those licorice pills for a while.
That's right.
I changed my diet, and I don't need that or anything.
So let's talk about a little bit about our last meal out at a restaurant, at a normal restaurant, Chinese food.
Oh my God. Driving home, I started experiencing pain, and it got to the point where it was excruciating. I remember I couldn't get in a comfortable position, couldn't rest, couldn't sleep. And the doctor said, yeah, it's your gallbladder, we're going to have to take it out. And I just simply made a decision that what I had been doing all of my life, which was living on a seafood diet. In other words, if I could seafood, I would eat it, and I would eat all of it, and more than anyone else in the vicinity. And I just simply put a stop to that.
And I remember, because that night you were in so much pain, and you actually went into almost convulsive chills. You had the chills so bad. We had blankets piled on you so high, trying to get you to warm up, and we couldn't get you to warm up. And then the following morning, when I woke up and I looked over at him, and he was completely yellow. He had jaundice so bad. It was, his eyes were yellow, his skin was yellow, and I was like, oh my God, get out of bed. We have to go to the doctor right now. And we rushed to the doctor, and they did all these examinations, and then we had to go to liver specialists, and he had to get all these scans, and they wanted to remove his gallbladder.
Yeah, the joy of my life. I actually think that it's a good thing, because it allowed me to make the change. Most people never really have an opportunity to change, because change is difficult. I was very, very fortunate that I had this problem, and it's just a decision that you have to make at some point in your life.
Especially if you don't want to end up in the hospital or end up with problems. And
right.
So after you had the last gallbladder attack, did you change your diet cold turkey, or like what were the changes that you made, and how did you change? What did you do different?
For years, we had already been moving in a direction of lower fat, lower sodium, better quality, whole grain diet anyway. But at that point, I just simply cut out everything except salad and chicken. I felt like I needed to hold on to the chicken for the protein, which is crazy, it's ludicrous, but I did it for a while.
We were making these same salads, and then we were adding chicken.
Exactly, exactly. I thought I needed it until at one point I realized the insanity.
Because you were watching me, because at that point I had started to change. I had already changed to raw food, and
healthier, brighter.
I was eating raw food, and you were kind of sitting back watching me, because I never pushed you. I never said anything to you about changing your diet.
Right.
And you just kind of sat back and watched me, and you were kind of waiting for me to waste away. And when I didn't, and you saw that I wasn't eating any animal protein.
It was surprising for everyone that you would flourish on a raw food diet, eating mostly fruit, and sit down and eat an entire watermelon at a sitting, or 8 bananas in a shake, or whatever it is that you would do.
Right. And so then that gave you the inclination that you didn't need chicken anymore.
Exactly. Because we don't have a stove or
well, we had a stove, but
we don't have a facility to make that stuff. I used to go to Whole Foods, and they'd buy the free-range organic chicken. They would cook it up for me.
That was nice.
And one day I looked at it and just said, I'm done. It's something that happens in the brain. Can't tell you. I also remember after weeks or a month or two of eating salads, I looked at a salad and said, I can't do this. If I ever see another salad again, I'll tear my hair out. But it didn't take very long to get past that.
And so what did you do when you got to the point where you're like, oh my God, if I see another salad, I'm just gonna gag? What steps did you take?
I didn't take any. I just stood back, looked at it for a moment, and realized that I'm going to keep trying.
But you did stop eating salads for a short period of time. You looked at other food options and waited until your appetite for salads came back, which
Right.
came back in a short period of time.
Other vegan options.
Okay, so aside from these salads, what else are you eating now? Like, what is the main food items that you are eating and what you really enjoy?
Potatoes.
Potatoes are your carbohydrate of choice.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff there, a lot of nutrients, a lot of strength from potatoes. Steam them up and can't get enough of them.
We have an electric steamer where we steam his broccoli for his salads and also his potatoes, and then he has a toaster oven, a really nice fancy oven that he uses to bake up his potatoes.
Right.
And what else? What other we have
I enjoy fruit.
lots of fruit.
Assorted fruit bowl.
You do a big smoothie in the morning.
Oh, big, huge. A 16 ounce for breakfast and another 16 ounce to carry with me during the day to fill in.
Snack on.
Yeah, I like tomato oranges. I enjoy spinach and corn and
Watermelon.
absolutely
Honeydew melon.
all kinds of fruit. Just
Grapes when they're in season.
right. And if not, then organic grape juice.
I'm putting broccoli on your salads right now, but you used to hate broccoli. Just the sight and the smell of it, you would turn up your nose. And I remember it was the same thing with avocados and other vegetables. A lot of people don't like vegetables. What was it that changed for you? How did vegetables suddenly become tasty and enjoyable?
Well, I eliminated salt and sugar and flour and fat and a lot of other things from the diet, and my taste buds changed completely. I was surprised. If you think you were surprised, I was surprised.
So eliminating salt and spices and other stimulating foods, eliminating fat, helped to change your taste buds.
Absolutely.
So how much weight have you lost?
Over 120 pounds.
So you were
I was almost 300 pounds.
you were almost 300 pounds, and now you're at a slim
175 today.
175.
In fact, for more than 3 years, I've been 175 to 180 without much fluctuation at all.
And in the beginning, you were losing, when you changed your diet, you were losing about
A pound a day,
a pound a day.
easily. In fact, now, if I don't pound down the potatoes, if I don't eat like a horse, I will lose weight. Which is great for someone who likes to eat.
Yeah. But you don't put any salt on your potatoes. You don't
No.
put any. You don't put
No,
any
I don't
oil
use-
or any.
No garlic, no onions, I don't use anything.
And you still enjoy it.
Yeah. There's vegans and there's religious vegans. I'm a psycho vegan.
Several people wrote in to ask if you had any detox symptoms when you changed your diet. Was there any specific experiences that you had regarding detox?
Not a lot, but I will tell you in the beginning, even though I was eating salad and very little of anything else, not a very high calorie diet, I spent a lot of time in the bathroom for weeks.
Your body was just purging fat and
It's
junk
whatever.
and years of
There was a lot more
abuse.
coming out than was going in for quite a while. But other than that, I was so ready for it. No big problem.
And what was the hardest, what do you think was the hardest part about changing your
crunchy,
diet?
chewy. Even though I would buy low sodium cashews, it was just a treat. I had special crackers that were all wheat really high quality, but it was crunchy, chewy.
I used to do a lot of whole grain cereals, all the health food cereals, and you would take those with you everywhere you went.
Right, but it was still grains. It was still affecting me, and I don't know that until I quit. And one day, regardless of how much was there in the cupboard, I just threw it all away. It's funny, it just comes to a time when you just make that decision. If you don't push yourself, if you just allow it to happen.
Right. Okay, we got a little sidetracked when we were talking about what you eat now. So we discussed smoothies, salads, we discussed, what else did
Everything's vegan. I do sometimes, I go to Whole Foods and they'll cook me up some whole wheat fettuccine. A sauce. The sauce is made from tomatoes and celery, and you know what goes into it.
The marinara sauce is the sauce that's here on YouTube, the recipe for the marinara sauce. And then you also do brown rice, organic brown rice with the sauce and tomatoes.
Exactly.
And tell everyone about your tacos that you make.
Oh, they're amazing. Lentils. You have a Trader Joe's near you. They have these lentils that are amazing. And I get the sprouted corn tortilla shells and put the lentils in and chop up tomatoes and some lettuce. It's better than a taco. It's amazing.
What kind of exercise did you do?
I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't do any.
You didn't know? Well, that's not true. We walked.
Well, we did.
We went for walks.
We went for walks, and we eventually got into hiking and other things that are a little more strenuous. However, in the very beginning, I did very little of anything. It wasn't like I'm losing weight because of exercise. I cut out the fat and salt and junk, and it melted off. Then, of course, when we did decide to go hiking up a 80-degree incline with people half my age, I was at the top first. And there's something to be said about this diet.
So with that, can you tell us what the benefits have been of changing from a standard American diet to a vegan diet? What kind of benefits have you experienced?
How much time you got?
We got all the time in the world.
My hair stopped falling out.
Your hair stopped falling out.
I was seeing tinges of gray, and that's even starting to go away. Not completely, I don't promise anything, but I lost so much weight. I have so much energy. I have more energy and stamina every day without coffee, without the sad diet.
Without the protein.
If people look into it and realize what a fallacy it is, that they can be happy too. I'm thrilled with the energy and vitality and
you go to the doctor and you get regular blood tests.
Oh yeah, twice a year at least, and they look at the blood test and they go, wow, your cholesterol is so low, it's off the charts. How is that possible? And they check my blood pressure and it's like a 11-year-old.
Everything looks good.
Every time.
And the doctors are amazed.
Yeah, every time.
The final question, what would you like to say to people who are struggling to lose weight or struggling to change their diet?
I think the most important thing is to stop struggling. It's really difficult to chase a cat. If you just sit back and let the cat come to you, in a couple of minutes, we're rubbing that fur all over your pant leg. Just stop worrying about it and allow it to happen.
And don't diet.
Yeah. Oh, dieting's the worst.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing.
Don't put the cover on all of them. I'm going to have one for lunch.
Oh, all right. Let's do that. Okay, so this is what he looked like before. This is what he looks like now. Nice and skinny. You have to turn to the side so they can see how skinny you are. Thank you. Okay, that's all for this edition of Raw Synergy TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.